Hey everyone, I'm Jason Jensen, and you're watching Jason Jensen Trains. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please click on the subscribe. And if you do, click on the bell to be notified when I upload more videos. In today's episode, we are working on part 2 of Goober's gas station and garage. In the first episode, I showed you how I took two structures from Casey's workshop to build our main structure. In this video, I will show you how I built the diorama base that the model will go on. So I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks for watching.
The first thing I did was cut a piece of styrofoam to 9 by 12. And it's very important there is a clear coating over both sides. Very important to peel that off. The next thing I did was I took mat board used for framing pictures and decided where I wanted my concrete. Because I want to make sort of a story with this diorama. Originally, this was the only building that was there, just the gas station. Then years later, the garage was built, and then they joined the two buildings in the center with this little structure here. So the concrete in front of the garage will be a different color than the concrete in front of the gas station. And the little section that's in between the two, right here, I cut a piece of brick and we'll put that in there. I need to carve a little bit of the foam away so that it sits level. So that will look like it was added later. I will paint the brick a reddish color and then using joint compound smear some over it so that it goes into the cracks. And then I will take a pencil and draw the lines on the cement and the sidewalk and possibly carve those, cut them a little bit with an X-Acto blade, just to give it a little depth. So I've traced where my piece of brickwork will be placed. Next, I will use a Dremel tool and carve out a little bit of it. So I cut right along the edge of the sidewalk, and I'm going to move that out about a ½ inch. So next I am going to paint the road. So I simply put some gray, a little bit of brown, and a little bit of black. And we'll mix this up and see what it looks like. So I've mixed a little bit of light gray into my dark gray that I painted the road with. And what I'm going to do is try something that I haven't done before, but I'm going to try to texture the road with the sponge. I'm going lighter out towards where the center of the road would be and leaving it darker in towards the curb. So I've finished sponging on the different shades of gray, and I'm hoping that you can see that. I think it gave it a really nice texture. So we need to very carefully cut away the curb and make our driveway. So we slowly cut this at an angle. I have first scored it this direction on both sides. So I've painted the mat board 3 different shades of gray. I did a light gray in this area right here. Then the sidewalk that wraps around is a little darker. And then I went even darker on the driveway leading up to the garage. I wanted to represent that concrete was poured at different times through the years. Now I'm simply taking my pastels and scrubbing my brush over them and dragging it right over the mat board to weather it. None of this is glued down in place yet, because I'm waiting until I put the dirt and grass in, because it'll get kind of wet and I don't want the mat board to get too wet and warp. I'm switching to a little smaller brush now to get a little bit more defined tire marks. Now I'm going to go in with a sharp pencil and just draw some cracks. I'm now adding some oil drips onto the cement. I use just a drop of black and a lot of water to create a little wash. Now we are going to apply some dirt. So first we'll put on some brown paint. We're going to go pretty thick with it. And we're going to use some real dirt. Now we're going to add some green, some grass, some bushes. This is just 50% glue, Elmer's glue, and 50% water. First we're going to sprinkle on some fine green. Then we'll use some coarse turf just to give it a little texture so it's not so flat. Now we're using underbrush. Everything I'm using is an olive green. Okay, now we'll let that sit and dry. And then we'll go back over it. I want to put some tire marks in here with some pastel chalks. And then we'll get the mat board, the cement, glued in place using liquid nails. So I painted the brick and then just smeared on joint compound over it and then wiped it off. So I've glued down the sidewalk and driveway using liquid nails, and then I put weights on it to make sure that it stays in place and flat. Next, the little brick section that I made, I'm going to put liquid nails on it. And we'll glue it in place. Just been doing more weathering and adding dirt with the pastel chalks. This here I just brushed on. After it was completely dry, I brushed on some light colored pastels. So I wanted to show you how I put signs in a window. First, I put clear plastic in the window and glue it in place. I then, out of another piece of plastic, I cut the same size window and glue all of my signs onto the clear piece of plastic. Then I will glue that in place. And here's what it looks like all finished. So for the most part, the model is finished. I have ordered some vehicles and some figures that I'll be adding to it later. But I just wanted to give you a close-up look at the model, how it stands right now. So as you can see, I've added lots of detailed castings. You can see I've added little pieces of newspaper. All the castings were painted using acrylic paints, and then some weathering was done to them using pastel chalks. So I thought I was all finished, but I forgot to put on some lamps that I had painted. I have a lamp right above the door, and then 2 lamps right above the Goober's gas station sign. It's the never-ending project.
Hope you enjoyed today's video, part 2 of building Goober's gas station and garage. This was such a fun project. Like I said, I had used 2 structures from Casey's workshop. So please be sure to visit their website, kcworkshop.com. They offer HO scale and O scale structures and detail parts. Thanks for watching. Till next time, happy modeling.